Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, M1 did the stock picks for me based upon my current allocations. That's what I do every Monday morning. And this is update number 134. What we're looking at right now, this is my taxable stock brokerage account with M1, my Average Joe Dividends portfolio. And right now, this portfolio has 52 different holdings within it, and the largest is the ETF SCHD. We'll get into that more a little bit later. We can see over the last year, this portfolio has had a money-weighted return of 27.27%. It looks like we're pretty much at an all-time high here at 278 and change. You can see we've had a bump this morning, and we can see how we're up 31% there. But where we started from last year was right about $211,000. So pretty nice gain there over the last year. And I haven't made really any large deposits. Right now, my current strategy is to deposit $200 per week into the portfolio. And again, I do that on Mondays, and then I'll do a second deposit either on Thursday or Friday. And the second buy I do, I pick 5 stocks and put $20 into each of those. And on Mondays, where that money goes depends on the allocation and the target. We can see here we're underweighted within the ETF slice of the portfolio. I'll also leave a link below so you can see what's all in this M1 portfolio. And we can see this slice is also underweighted as well by 0.1%. And then the 12 more dividends portion is overweighted by 0.1%. So chances are the money went into these two slices. So we'll find out where it went here by going to the activity log, and we can see here's the deposit, the $100, and looks like 99.67 was able to be used. Sometimes when there's a higher priced stock, it can't resolve all of the money. It has to be a certain amount or a certain percentage of a fractional share. That's probably what happened here, why I couldn't invest the entire $100. So we'll see what the 3 buys were. And it looks like most of it went into Amgen. So 58.34 went into Amgen of the 99.67. And that bought a fractional share of 0.19695 of a share. So almost 20% of a share of Amgen. And then Merck, another pharmaceutical, 28.99, and then that bought me 0.28727 of a share. And then the last buy was Microsoft for $12.34, and I think that's where the other portion of the $100 couldn't be resolved because the share price of Microsoft is $419. It probably couldn't resolve that last couple dollars there. So it bought 0.0294 of a share, so nearly 3% of a share there. And next what we're going to do is we're going to see what effect these 3 buys had on my dividend income going forward. We'll also do some historicals on the portfolio as well. So let's just go over to, we're going to go over to my Google Docs spreadsheet. Hopefully I'm zoomed in enough so you can kind of read the companies here. You can see I have different shades of green here. And right now we're in the month of November. And I have everything arranged on this sheet by pay date. And I'll show you the stocks that have paid me so far in the month of November. I have a few more left. I have Starbucks and BST left to pay, and so far I've received the sum of $165.67 in dividends, but there's a whole lot more coming with the last 2. You can see the dividend received differs from the next dividend, and that's because what I do is I take the dividend and I reinvest it back into the company that paid it. You can see for Verizon I received $59.88. Drip that dividend back into Verizon, so my next dividend in February is going to be $60.86, and so on. You can see that. And some of these, like Apple, the drip was not big enough to increment it up by an entire penny. Same with Costco as well, because both Apple and Costco pay a very low yield. You can see Apple 0.43%, Costco 0.49%. And when you drip those tiny amounts, especially with Costco, when you drip $3 into a stock that's $950 a share, it's not going to really move the needle much, but it will a little bit. Just in this case, though, it didn't move it by an entire penny. I'm sure the next drip is going to move it by a penny or two. And also, when I buy more fractional shares as well, it moves up more significantly than the $3 drip or the 370 for Apple. So I'm going to scroll down here at the bottom of the sheet and kind of show you some things this sheet shows. You can see that here's the total value of the portfolio, so I don't have to go to M1 all the time. I can actually just load up the sheet and see the current value of the portfolio. And it's according to Google Finance pulling those stats based on their share price at that time. Sometimes there's a disconnect between M1 and Google, but at the end of the day, it's all the same when they catch up to each other. Here's my cost basis. Here's my gain or loss within this portfolio, including the dividends. You can see here's the average yield of the portfolio, and here's the average yield on my cost. You can see it is higher, my yield on cost, because I paid less for the shares. We can see here is the quarterly dividend, everything added up at $3,004.42. And then I have a chart here with the monthly, quarterly, and annual. I'm going to put these values here because they're going to change after we do an update. I'm not sure what happened here. Let's just do a pay special. That's what I didn't do. Values only. There we go, because there's some formulas involved there. So these are going to go up. The monthly cash flow, the quarterly and annual is going to go up. And also, for the 3 buys that we had, I put in the dividend spot here, I put their current dividend. And in the case of Amgen and Microsoft, these are both after the ex-dividend date. So I'm going to have to wait till their next dividend in March to get the next higher dividend. So we're starting at $14.66 for Amgen, $6.53 for Microsoft. Remember, Microsoft is only $12. It's going to move up just by a few cents. And then Merck was the other buy at $10.42. So we're going to see the next dividends for these rise, as well as the quarterly dividend going up and the monthly and annual. And that's why I hard-coded those here and the 3 values here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some data over at M1 from the holdings tab. And again, I'll leave a link below so you can see what's all in the portfolio and what percentage I have allocated to each of these companies. You can see there's 52 positions in this portfolio. Right now, with SCHD being the largest position at over $105,000. And then the largest individual position is NVIDIA at almost $5,500. So you can take a look, though. Look at my cost basis on NVIDIA. I've done quite well. And NVIDIA does pay a very tiny dividend. That's why I have it in the portfolio, and also to help out with the growth aspect. That's why I don't just go with an SCHD. I want a little bit of growth in here as well. I have NVIDIA and some other companies in here. I'll scroll down and show you, like Oracle. I don't know if Oracle is even in SCHD, but things like REITs are not in SCHD. I know like Broadcom, they cut them out. I think at the last time they reconstituted their stocks within SCHD, and I didn't like that. And I had Broadcom anyway, but I keep adding to that position as well. That's why I have these individual positions too. And just scroll down so you kind of get an idea of what's in the portfolio and what these 52 different positions are. Just mostly household names, blue chip stocks really, that where most of them will increase their dividend year over year, and many of them have done it for many decades. So I'm going to grab everything starting from the name column and just grab all this data. What we're going to do is we're going to paste this into my Google Docs spreadsheet on the M1 data tab. And what this does is it's going to grab the data for the number of shares, my average price I've paid for each of these shares, and then my cost basis. And you can see it does a VLOOKUP over here on the average cost. You can see the VLOOKUP on the M1 data tab. It's going to do that for the shares as well. So average cost shares and then the cost basis. So those three are populated with the VLOOKUP from the M1 data tab. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there, and it's going to change those three values for those three stocks where I bought more positions than the others. I'm just going to remain the same like SCHD. The number of shares, cost basis, and average did not change for it. Everything is arranged here, and just in this A column is where I pasted it into here. And here's where I align the shares and cost and average. And for some reason, this is all formatted dollars, even though this is a quantity of 3,577 shares of SCHD. But of course, it doesn't make a difference since it's formatted for dollars. It doesn't matter. It's just pulling the count, really. So let's take a look and see what happened with Amgen. First off, that's where most of the money went to. So my dividend would be $14.66 in approximately March 10th. Because again, in December 10th, it's not going to pay all this because we're past the ex-dividend date. But on March 10th, approximately 3 months from now, it's going to pay $15.10 instead of the $14.66. And then Microsoft, like I said, just went up a few cents from $6.53 to $6.56. But I'm telling you, these small increments, when you do them often, they just keep adding up and getting larger all the time. That's why I do these videos is I do them twice a week to show you these little changes. But if you go back and look, a couple years ago, what this portfolio is paying dividend wise, it's gone up significantly. And a couple years from now, it's going to be way higher than it is here. And then here's the last one where Merck was the third buy. So, and this one is before the ex-dividend date. So on January 9th, I will be receiving $10.65 instead of $10.42. You can see my quarterly dividends going up. It was at $3,004.42, and now it's at $3,005.12. You can see the monthly cash flow went from $1,001.71 to, from $1,147 to $1,171. That's the new value over here. I got those flip-flopped. And we can see the new annual went from $1217.68 to $1220.48. So we're going to carry this value, the $1,171, because any change in the portfolio with the monthly cash flow average, what I'm doing is I'm carrying the new amount over. I'm going to go to that tab. We're going to probably have to add a new row into this. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. Every time I do a buy, no, looks like I already put in the $100 deposit. So anytime there's like a dividend drip, a deposit, you can see Merck here, they increased their dividend by 5%, and that added 17 cents to my monthly income there. You can see here's more drips, $100 deposit. Another F&F did a 4% dividend increase, and so on. You can see all these that have been done just in the month of November here. And these just, they add up is what happens, even though they're just a few cents sometimes. Like this one, 1,171. So we'll put the new value in there. We'll get the difference. So I added 24 cents of monthly income off this $100 deposit with those three buys. So let's go on over to the dividend tracker tab. I've been doing these videos since January 2021. Here's the portfolio value at the end of January 2021. Here are the total dividends that are paid within that month. And then we're just going to scroll down to more present time here. Get into 2024. So here we are now, we're at November 2024. Here's the portfolio value at $278,100. This is rounded to the nearest $100. Here are the dividends paid so far, $165.67. You can see the dividends paid in the prior month, $608.64. I think we're going to get more in November. And then December is going to be huge. I think it's going to be over $1,700. But that really hinges upon what SCHD's dividend is, because most of the portfolio is SCHD. We can see here, here's the new average monthly dividend. You can see how this has gone up from like June 2023 is at $817 per month. That was like my monthly paycheck is now over 1,000 at 1,171. And then I have increased my monthly dividend by an additional $6.19 just in November alone. And so that's a month over month change of 0.62%. And that's adding 619 every month going forward, not just in November. And then here's the new annual dividend at $12,020.48. This is like a annual paycheck. And here's the annual increase that I've done with these deposits here. I added another $100, so we're up to $700. We'll close the month with a buy on Thursday or Friday. I think the market's open Friday. I know it's closed on Thursday, but Friday, if the market's open, I'll have another deposit there. It'll be $800 then total to close out the month. And then, of course, I'll do another video showing my total dividends. What I do is I will show you proof that I received the dividends and not just this tracking sheet. I'll go into M1, we'll go one by one, we'll tally them up. You can see what remains here. Starbucks on the 30th and BST. So I'm expecting to get an additional $506.31 just waking up in the morning on the 30th. And then on the following Monday, what I'll do is I'll drip all this and then do another $100 deposit. And you can see, and then what's going to happen again is the cash flow average is going to go up, as well as the portfolio value. That's if the market doesn't tank or anything like that on Monday, but it's going to go up by that $500 plus the $100 in there as well. And again, changing the cash flows for the monthly, quarterly, and annual by doing that drip. I think the last time I did a drip with BST in it, you can see right here it was $3.44. So it's going to add several dollars, probably $3.44 at least again, or if not more, we'll see on that Monday. So it'll be a much better day than like today with just the 24 cents. But when I'm doing these all the time, when you have 24 cents, a penny, 20 cents, 17, constantly, every couple days, it adds up to real money. And that's how we get to, an average monthly dividend of over $1,000 is just constantly doing this and sticking to it and sticking to the plan. So to close out the video, we're going to go to my total net worth statement. And what's in this portfolio here, this is about 15% of my current net worth. And I'm going to go over the other 85% of it over here on this sheet. So over at Vanguard, I have an IRA and a small Roth brokerage account as well as a taxable brokerage account. They're all in Vanguard ETFs. You can see what those are all here, and the value over there at Vanguard is at $479 and change. And then here's my current employer, and it's through T. Rowe. I have a 401k, and I'm invested in Fidelity's S&P 500 index fund, and just over 100k in that. And then over at M1, I have an IRA, and this is from prior employment to my current job. And you can see it's just VU, VTI, CHD, and BST, and that's valued at about $717,000. Here's the M1 taxable brokerage account I just went into at length, the 278, and then I have a 1-year emergency fund over at M1 earning 4.25% interest at 58.8. I just rounded to the nearest $100 to keep it simple. And then Synchrony, I have, this is like a 6-month approximately emergency fund over there at 26.5, earning 4.3% interest. And then over at Capital One, this is more my short-term money. I have $10,000 over there in a savings account. I really don't keep anything in the checking. I just move it over there to pay off my credit card or my mortgage, and I just move that money over there. And then my paychecks go into Capital One. And then if I get an overage, usually over 10,000, I'll push it on over to Synchrony. So that's the plan right now. And here's my home value. I just have a simple 3-bed, 2-bath, split entry home that I recently built in February that I'm trying to pay off aggressively. And here's my liabilities. Here's my current credit card balance, and I don't carry a balance. I did when I was a college student and paid interest then, and I said never again, and paid it off and have paid it off in full every month since. It's been a few decades since I've done that, paid any interest to these credit card companies. Instead, I get the cash back. I get 2% cash back through this card. And here is the mortgage. This is the balance at 177.5, and I've been making extra payments on that to try to pay this off early. And I'm strongly considering selling this. I've said this several times. You can see this 186.3, selling this and then taking the proceeds and paying this off and have enough left over to pay the taxes on the gains of these investments. And that would just be a huge weight off my shoulders to not have a mortgage and really have essentially no debt, with the exception of what I charge up through the month and then pay off at the end. So here's my total net worth, and it's at over 1.8. And here's the breakdown with stocks. I'm very heavy in stocks. I used to have some bonds. I got rid of those. To me, just the more I think about it, I'm stocks and cash. And you can see how that's broken up by about 87% stocks. Here's my home equity, about 8%, and about a little over 5% in cash. And we can see here is pre-tax IRA 401k, over $1 million there waiting for me when I'm 59.5. And then here's what I have that I have actually access to. And then we can see here's the breakup of U.S. international. It's really heavy U.S., but the biggest companies in the U.S., in the S&P 500 are international companies. So I have a little bit more than 4% actually, but I just split it by an actual VX US. It's a total international stock ETF. I have it in 3 different places: an IRA here, and Roth IRA, as well as a taxable. So that's kind of my international exposure. That's right here. And we can see here I track my average monthly dividend. So I have the 2023 dividends of all these ETFs. Since they're variable, I just added up the total dividend from 2023, divided it out to get an average monthly dividend for each of these, and that includes interest from savings accounts. And here's my current average monthly dividend for everything is almost at $3,300. It's been going down a little bit because Synchrony knocked their interest down, as well as M1. So did Capital One. They were at 4% just recently, and they're now down to 3.9. So this will temporarily go down a little bit, but it gets kind of lifted up by the dividend increases I get with the stock investments. We can see here, starting November 2022, I've been tracking like my net W-2 income against my expenses, and this is not counting other things that I do, like my dividends or anything like that. I'm just measuring gap to actually invest in more investments, kind of thing, and you can see what that is, as well as my net worth. We can see my net worth comparison just over 2 years ago. It's a lot more. I can do the math real quick here, again, like I did last time. So we'll just do this minus this. So in 2 years, my net worth has gone up by $527,878.56. And you can watch my videos to see how it's gone up. And I haven't won the lottery, because you can see my income, subtracting out expenses, and all I'm doing is investing in my 401k, and I'm also investing my gap, and that's it. And it's just my existing assets are going up to produce that. So we can see my net worth climbing. Here's what it was at the end of October. Of course, we've gone up. We're in the 1/8 now, but we're not done with the month. I haven't received my second paycheck, and my expenses are not done because we still have about, 5 days left. So when I have that done, I'll put that in here, and I'll have the new gap and the new closing net worth rounded to the nearest $100 at the end of November. So let's go back. It's been a while since we saw what I bought over here. The 3 buys, again, Amgen is where most of it went to, over half. F5834, then Merck, and then Microsoft. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are buying before Thanksgiving, and let me know what you think about these picks as well. Thanks for sticking to the end of the video. If you got value from the video, please subscribe so you do not miss future videos. Also, please like the video. That helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. So the next video hopefully will be on Friday. You'll see what my 5 picks were. Thanks again, everybody. I hope you have a great week and a very happy Thanksgiving.